All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Time for an update on what's going on down at the border. It seems like Governor Abbott in Texas are doubling down, along with other governors lending him support against the federal government. When was the last time we seen the states in the South unite against the federal government? We ain't seen nothing like this since the 1800s. What are we really witnessing? Black people, open your eyes, put your thinking caps on, turn off the reality shows, turn off the nonsense. Because what's going on now is stranger than fiction. Open your eyes and witness it and see what's going on in your country. They're down at the border having a Mexican standoff. Let's get off into this video. It's for educational purpose under the 1976 Copyright Act of Fair Usage. Pay attention. It's getting real.
Supreme law of the land.
Texas seized control of the park and then began denying entry to Border Patrol agents.
Called Take Our Border Back. It kicks off Monday.
The border has now reached the boiling point that you now see governors getting involved. We have a trucker convoy coming down to the border. The American people are going to have to get involved.
Look at yesterday. Look at all this crap that's going on.
He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? The only loser I see is Donald Trump.
Texas seized control of the park and then began denying entry to Border Patrol agents.
Brandon, federal officials demanded that Texas allow access to that high crossing area but Texas leaders say that's not happening, and in fact, they're doubling down. And the state has installed rows of razor wire in Shelby Park and says more is being added along the border. A Supreme Court ruling allows for federal agents to cut or remove the wire, but there's been no decision yet on the case as a whole. Governor Abbott says Texas is doing what it has to do with the backing of the Constitution.
Yes, that's right. The $6,400 health subsidies are real. Under this program, everybody who makes less than $50,000 a year should be eligible to get these subsidies.
Regardless of what federal statute may exist, the supremacy clause means that the Constitution itself is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution itself provides Texas with a right of self-defense in this case because the United States has abandoned its responsibility to defend Texas.
A lot of y'all who may not know what the supremacy clause is, the supremacy clause gives the governor in the states their own state constitution, their own rights within the state. So if the border is in Texas, then Texas has the right to decide what happens on the border unless the federal government overrides the state's rights and the governor's rights. And why would you do that? Let's continue.
Former President Trump is among a growing number of Republicans rallying behind Governor Abbott in the escalating fight with the federal government. Trump is also calling on Republicans in Congress to oppose a bipartisan deal on border security. Now, those negotiations continue with members of both parties expressing optimism that an agreement will be made. Others say President Trump putting some pressure there and could cause that bill to stall. Some now asking President Biden to federalize the Texas National Guard to take control of the park in Eagle Pass.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott refusing to give up control of the Texas border to federal officials, saying the state will not give federal agents full access to Shelby Park today. That ignores a deadline set by the...
This is going to be the last time I interject, but I want you to listen to the language. The governor is denying the federal government access to the park. Think about that. The state is standing up to the feds, saying, no, we run this. Talking about gangster.
Biden administration, which is today. Instead, Abbott is installing more razor wire following a Supreme Court order allowing federal agents to start removing it.
Look at yesterday. Look at all this crap that's going on.
Donald Trump, when he was commander in chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that? Look, I call them patriots and heroes. The only loser I see is Donald Trump.
Texas now receiving support from 25 Republican governors, all backing Governor Abbott's border act.
This is deeper than the Lions game was. 25 governors. Look at all that red. Look at all that red. Here we is up here, surrounded by all this red. What are we witnessing? Are y'all woke yet? Have I got y'all attention yet? Maybe not. Let's continue.
Actions blaming the Biden administration for the crisis. Former President Trump wants to take it one step further. He's now encouraging these states to deploy their National Guard troops to Texas to prevent illegal crossings. Trump's vowing that if he
Okay, I promise this is my last time. They saying they finna the other 25 states. They want the other 25 states to send their National Guard. What does that look like? 25 states sending their own National Guard to stand with Texas. You know, Texas is known for the Alamo, the last stand at the Alamo. Come on, what we watching here, people?
becomes president again, he's going to work with Abbott to seal the border. Writing, quote, Biden says let in those should not get comfortable because they will be going home. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Keith Self. Congressman, good morning. Governor Kristi Noem already saying, yes, I would send National Guard troops. Is that something that you think that Texas is open to? And is that a move that needs to be made now?
Well, that will be up to Governor Abbott. But I think the border has now reached the boiling point that you now see governors getting involved. We have a trucker convoy coming down to the border. The American people are going to have to get involved. I'm delighted to see 25 governors support Governor Abbott. And I think we're going to have to be aware that the president can federalize the National Guard, but it would be much harder if 25 governors sent their National Guard troops to the border to support Texas.
Karine Jean-Pierre has been asked about this, and of course she's defending her boss, President Biden, but her response is always interesting. It still seems to be a gaslighting type of response from her. The border is secure. We're working on the border. Secretary Mayorkas, we're very aware of the issues down there, but their goal is to process migrants, not to stop the flow of migrants across the border.
Cheryl, I was on the border just 3 weeks ago, and that's exactly what the Border Patrol is doing. They have 72 hours to process the illegal immigrants, turn them over to ICE or a nonprofit to move them into the interior of the United States. They are not there to stop the invasion. And that's perfectly clear to anyone that's been on the border, anyone that sees the videos. At one point during the tsunami of probably a month ago, there were no Border Patrol agents actually in the field. They were.
Listen to the language. He said to stop the invasion. He didn't say immigrants. He called them invaders. Let's continue.
All in the office processing paperwork during that tsunami.
Let's talk about this trucker convoy. You brought this up just a moment ago. So this is called Take Our Border Back. It kicks off Monday. So you've got multiple starts. You've got trucks leaving from Virginia Beach that are going to go through Texas, Arizona, California. On the website, it describes the event as a peaceful assembly, encouraging all freedom-loving and law-abiding Americans to attend. I saw that you posted on X to raise awareness about that. You obviously just mentioned it a moment ago. I understand that you're going to be speaking once they get to Eagle Pass. I also see that it's going to go through Yuma. It's going to go San Ysidro, California, as well. 700,000 vehicles. That's the prediction here. How do you keep that peaceful and on track? That's a lot of trucks.
Well, the people that have organized this are the same people that went to California to D.C. with the truckers. I understand we're going to be joined by Canadian truckers. So these people are committed to a peaceful demonstration that we've had enough. The American people have had enough. We're demanding that the Biden administration do its job, enforce the laws on the books, and secure our border. 8 million people during the Biden administration. That's more than the population of Ohio. This is the time for us to rise up as the American people and demand that our president do his job.
Well, I hope, again, I do hope that envoy is.
Are y'all paying attention to the language? He said, rise up. Truckers coming all the way through Yuma, California, Virginia Beach, converging on that border. All this for some migrants, some non-Americans. What's really going on?
Is peaceful and organized and doesn't kind of, you worry about large movements like this. I mean, obviously the Canadian trucker convoy you just mentioned ended up creating a lot of issues and supply chain issues, of course, where the business network, I had to ask that. But I do want to bring in Carol Ross. She's got a question for you. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, Congressman, I love the fact that people are standing up and using their voices peacefully. But we know that bad actors in the past have co-opted these types of events and done everything they can to make the peace-loving Americans look bad. Are you concerned that there might be some sort of co-opting of this convoy?
That's always a probability, but you learn as you do these events. So they now know that that might have been in the past. So they've got measures in place to make sure that does not happen. And I am hopeful that that will not happen because this should be a peaceful movement of the American people joined by other nations if they want to come. This is the Canadian farmers.
He said probabilities and should be. He's not affirming anything.
Trucker. This is the German farmers. This is the French farmers. This is the Dutch farmers. This is a movement well beyond the United States that people are simply tired of the overreach of their federal governments, and we're pushing back. Now is the time.
We continue, obviously, these proceedings against Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. Where are we with that right now? Before we go, where are you with that?
Well, wants to impeach the secretary, and it failed because of Republican votes. I think that we will try again in the very near future. I thought we were going to do it last week, but I think we're close to doing it. And this time, I fully expect that impeachment to pass and him to be impeached, pass it to the Senate for an actual trial.
Okay. All right. We are, of course, following that story as well. Congressman Keith Self. Congressman, thank you for being here.
Well, look, I mean, the Supreme Court is the highest, court of the land. It is. And they made a ruling. And, on Tuesday, as you guys probably saw, DHS sent Texas a letter outlining.
This tether, she not even from America. She can't even look the people in the eye. They bring her out every time it's finna be a shenanigan and make her the face of it. Look, she can't even look him in the eye. So she ain't standing on what she talking about. She don't even believe what she's saying herself.
the access Border Patrol needs in Shelby Park, for example, to do their jobs, and demanding Texas confirm this access will be honored. Border Patrol needs to have access in order to do their job. They just do. And, what we're seeing from Governor Abbott, you've heard me say this over and over again, they're making harder. They're making it harder. He's making it harder for Border Patrol to do their jobs. They need access. They need access. And right now, they don't have that. And it's under the Constitution of the United States that federal law is the supreme law of the land, and any conflicting state is preempted. That's the law.
So you think they're failing to comply with the court's orders?
I mean, it's the law. It is literally the law. I mean, it is the law. And what we want is Border Patrol to be able to do their jobs. And right now, Governor Abbott is getting in the way. And you see it, DHS sent a letter on this. I would refer you to what they wrote.
Is DHS still trying to work with the Texas National Guard?
Look, DHS wants the Border Patrol agents to have access. They want them to be able to do their job so that they can follow the law. When Border Patrol is trying to have access to that area, they're actually trying to enforce the law. That's what they're trying to do. And Governor Abbott is getting in the way of that. And so they're trying to do their job, enforce the law, make sure that, they.
Wait. I took a course in paralegal studies and became a paralegal. Now you have the supremacy clause and the rights of states and governors to run their states as they see fit as long as they're not in violation of the Constitution. The only time the federal government is supposed to step in is if they're violating the Constitution. They're securing their border. How is that a violation of the Constitution? Securing their borders for non-American immigrants coming into their city. It's a lot of double talk going on here. They expect people not to know things.
They are able to do what they are meant to be doing as Border Patrol agents.
They're communicating with the Texas National Guard.
I mean, honestly, I would refer you to the DHS on communication. I'm not tracking every communication that they're having. What I'm saying more broadly, which is true, which is Border Patrol needs to be able to do their job, and they're getting in the way of it.
And just a quick one on the border talks. We and others have reported that the White House has said that they would accept limiting parole at the border as a condition in the Senate border talks. Can you confirm?
I cannot confirm that from here. I'm going to let the negotiators have their process, go through their process. We think it's happening in good faith. We think there's been progress, and we want to see a bipartisan agreement here.
This just came in a little over an hour ago. So you mean to tell me that they have to negotiate? So the federal government is negotiating with the governor of Texas. 25 other governors are standing with them and preparing to send their National Guard to support Texas. What are we witnessing? People, are you woke yet? Are you woke? Please. You better pay attention. You know what I mean? You'll have to wake up tomorrow and you won't be in Kansas anymore. This is deep. I will keep you posted. Keep your head on a swivel. Signing to you out of Detroit. Detroit's HPTV. Like, share, and subscribe.